Hey everybody, Dave Shimoleski here with People Behind the Brand. This is episode number 3, and today I got Kevin Rockoff with us, owner of Rockoff Realty, started a few years ago. Really happy to have him here. I think we're gonna have a really good conversation. So why don't we let's get started? Kevin, how you doing?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in. You do things a little bit different in the real estate market. So why don't you just kind of tell us why you jumped into real estate first of all, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, great. So I have been licensed since 2005, and my wife Kathy is my partner in the business, and she too. We both got our licenses in 2005. She was working as an EMT at the time. I was in software sales for about 20 years, but real estate had been our passion. We've always loved. She likes designing. I like building things. So we got our licenses 14 years ago. We started with Remax for a few years, and it was really side income, only selling a few houses. But the time our kids were younger, and it really did help pay for some of the extras, the vacation or what have you. And then Kathy continued in as an EMT. I was doing software, and then my company got purchased in 2015. So I finished up there for a year, and then I was able to kind of take a step back and figure out what I wanted to do next. Kathy had been on the ambulance for 12 odd years, and that's very tiring, very tiring work. So we took a year and kind of tried different things. I worked on our house, figured out we looked at buying a restaurant bar, looked at buying a laundromat. Kathy opened a salon, and nothing really took, and we were finishing this house that we had bought. So by around 2017, I'm thinking, okay, well, what else do I want to do now at this point to keep busy and pay my bills and do what I have to do? So obviously being a real estate broker was just natural that I would, oh, by the way, I did start my own business in 2009 as Rockoff Realty because I was giving Remax like 50% of my measly sales, but still, I was like,
Sure.
I might as well have my own business.
Sure.
So anyways, but didn't do much with it. So anyways, by 2017 rolls around, I'm like, okay, let's do real estate. And I had not been focused on real estate. So in terms of, sold a couple houses, what have you. So mechanics of it, but hadn't focused on marketing my business. So I took a look at Zillow at the time. Zillow was, and it still is, Zillow has grown to be pretty much the dominant player in the market. And I started buying, they have these premier agent opportunities where you can pay them money, and then you get to be featured. When listings come up, they click on your face, you get a lead, and you go help that person buy a home. Mm-hmm. So I started doing that.
And that was when?
2017.
2017.
Mid-20.
Did you move that microphone a little bit closer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That was the middle of 2017.
Yeah.
And so, you hear that lady?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it gets noisy. It gets noisy here sometimes.
Sometimes it's the
It's a
hub of
little noisy.
activity.
People get, well, it's a happy, excited building, so it's good.
It's a cool building. Very pops on the new place, by the way.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool place.
Thank you.
Nice
Yeah,
upgrade.
no, super happy to be here.
So we started getting these buyer leads, and they're not cheap. A lot of agents will buy them. Also be premier agents. And there's a lot of chatter in the real estate boards about is Zillow's good for us, bad for us. They're definitely dominating the market. But here I am, as a broker, 2017, start buying some ads, and I noticed that a lot of the callers would be looking to speak with the listing agent. Mm-hmm. So if you're a listing agent, Zillow puts you up front for free. Here I am as a premier agent, paying to be there, and people are trying to call and talk to the listing agent anyways. So I thought, so if I get a listing, I get free advertising. How do I get listings?
Sure.
All right, so started looking at, everyone's charging 5 and 6%. That's what the going rate is, about 5 or 6%. They take 2.5 or 3, and they keep 2.5 or 3, what have you. And I'm thinking, doing all my work, I had a few listings. I'd had, several buyers. No one was coming to my office. So I'm like, I don't have an office.
Sure.
Which I don't need. I think I don't need this. because we do electronic contracts. When I'm working with a buyer, I meet them out in the marketplace. If I'm working with a lister, I go look at their home, come back and do my comparative market analysis, email it over to them. They want to do business. We do electronic contracts. So I'm thinking from a listing perspective, I have very little overhead.
It's all on the computer, basically. You pull out your laptop, right? And
you take listings and
Yeah.
you get the pictures, you upload them to MLS, and
Yeah.
once they're in MLS, Zillow,
They all
Trulia,
have.
Realtor.com, they all have these what's called APIs into that database, and they pull all those listings out.
And you pay a fee to be to be able to access the MLS?
Well, yeah, as part of a broker, part of an agent, you pay an MLS fee. But whether you sell 50 houses or you sell 0 houses,
same amount.
you're still going to pay. Yeah, so the costs are fixed, and there's really no overhead in what we do.
Gotcha.
So my thought was, well, why not do a 1% listing? No one had really done that.
Sure.
Well, I mean, well, why not?
Sure.
I don't have the overhead. It doesn't take a long time to do a listing. Why not give that a shot? Just to break out there, do something different. And you know what? If I can make a living at 1%, I can save people a lot of money. They'll be happy. I'm paying my bills. Let's give it a shot.
Sure. So you did it.
So I did it. So I started out, and that's where you and I met. I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out, okay, I got this great concept, wonderful concept. I mean, when you think about the real estate market, it's one of the last industries I know of that is still doing a pricing model now as was pre-internet. And certainly the internet has changed everything. Real estate.
And that's part of your pitch, right?
That's part of it.
Internet has changed everything, and it has.
It has, but the pricing models haven't.
Yeah.
So you have these, where was I going with that?
So, we talked earlier, and yeah, back before the internet, right? The only people that had access to all that stuff was the agents, and they had this big book or whatever.
That's right.
Whatever
That's
it was, right?
Yeah, they
But
have
now I have access to all.
Correct. It's
a lot of
full
that stuff.
listing transparency.
Yeah.
That's what's remarkable. And all agents basically go to MLS and upload their listings, right? That's pretty much all you can do these days. And I tell my clients that. They think that there's like this magic realtor dust that we have. We don't anymore.
Yeah.
All the listings, you have full transparency of all listings in real time on any number of websites.
In real time, which is
In real time.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, think
Remember those
back-
little books? Those little books you get
Yeah.
at the diner?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Those little books?
Yeah.
Do they
You
still
sit
have
there-
those?
Absolutely, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Why would you use that?
Why
now?
would you
go
use
just
that?
on your phone?
Well, you notice the print ad I do.
Yeah.
The print ad I do, which has been very successful for me, I don't advertise the homes I have for sale. I advertise in print talking about how effective my services
You
are.
don't advertise the homes. That never dawned on me. You don't advertise
I
the
don't
homes you have
advertise
for sale.
because the people who are
You
reading,
say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and
Here's
this
the services
this is
provided.
the services provided, which is exactly the same services that everybody else does,
pretty much.
right?
Got to be careful with the word exactly.
Exactly. Well, yeah,
But
similar.
in substance,
Similar.
I do what's called full service real estate.
Sure.
Which is I meet with you in person, you get a sign, you get a lockbox, I do open houses, I get you on all the MLS websites, and I represent you with the best responsibility and professionalism that I can.
Yeah.
That's what full service realtors do. But they never publish their rates.
Yeah.
You know what a car is going to cost you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of that's never been done. Redfin is trying right now. You familiar with Redfin?
No idea.
They've got several $100 million of venture capital behind them. Their big pitch is they've started out doing 1%. But it's very hard to do 1% when you've raised hundreds of $1 millions. You have a big office in Silicon Valley. You're still burning cash. And you still need a local presence in order to do it. So now they've gone from it's 1% if you buy and sell, which is going to narrow their pool right there.
Right.
They have tried to advertise on price. The only one I know of substance that has done that.
Okay.
They've got other issues because they still have all the capital and infrastructure and all that stuff.
Got a ton of overhead.
Ton of overhead still. I don't have overhead.
Yeah.
So question is, can I scale this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't even gone to do agent recruitment yet because I wanted to see, hey, this is my theory. Does this actually work? Can I make a living? Is it profitable? Can I scale this thing before I've gone to recruit or what have you? But right now, I'm not worried about being Redfin. I'm not. All I'm trying to do is help customers and pay my bills.
Yeah.
And if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, as long as I'm enjoy what I do and I have a good quality of life and I can pay my bills, I'm happy.
What I think is great, and we talked about this a while back. We did this, we did a bunch of video and some photographs, and you used Facebook and television and whatever else online, and you get your customers from the newspaper,
Counterintuitive.
which is great because all your work is done on the internet. Yet your customers come from the newspaper.
It's
You have
amazingly
you
counterintuitive
have
to me.
an
But
awesome
again,
brand.
the reason it's just knowing your customer.
Yeah.
The people in Connecticut, I tell you, my average customer is this. On average, it's a person maybe 50, 60 years old, And I live in Hebron, so surrounded by similar semi-rural, semi-urban towns. People moved out there from Manchester, East Hartford, 30, 40 years ago. They can get 2 acres of land, build a home, 120 grand, taxes are low.
Yeah.
Raise their kids, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Fast forward 30, 40 years, kids are grown, they're older, taxes have tripled.
Yeah.
They don't need it, they're selling.
Yeah.
Where do those people go?
Yeah.
They read the papers.
They read the paper.
And
Of
it's
course they do.
it's a way for me to present a very revolutionary concept, which is where you came in.
Yeah.
I met you right when I was trying to formulate, okay, I got this great business idea. How do I get it out? There's so many different ways to market and communicate, and Netflix and Instagram and la da 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 da. It was, anyway, I had to figure it out. You came in and was kind of like that earth shattering, like, I don't have to pay 2.5% or 3% to a listing broker.
Awesome.
And you did a great job.
Thanks.
With doing
that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you check out Kevin's YouTube page or my
Rockoff
YouTube,
Realty
Rockoff
YouTube
Realty,
page.
you'll see it there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on I'm gonna put it back on my website.
So it's a Leave It to Beaver spoof. So
Leave It to Beaver
It's
spoof.
very cool.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay.
I still go
It's all
back. It's fun.
Yeah, no, that's fun. But what papers do you? Is it the local paper? Is
I'm
it the
branching
current?
out now.
Is
I
it- what do you do?
started out just with the River East because I'm in Hebron. The River East covers, just kind of Marlboro, Colchester, that local area, and did great with it.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's just, and it was very. I did so. Then I branched out Glastonbury Citizen. Because Glastonbury is the average selling price is a good 25% higher than in local towns. Thought, why not focus on Glastonbury?
Yeah.
It's the same effort for me to sell $500,000 house in Glastonbury as it is to sell a $200,000 Cape in Hebron.
Sure.
Same thing. We send the photographer, get beautiful pictures.
Yep.
Key piece of any listing, it's got to have professional
Key.
photography.
What about video? How do you feel video playing a part? Every once in a while, I get a call from an agent to do some video. I've done a couple. I don't do a lot. How does that play in selling a house? Is that relevant?
Not in my opinion.
Okay.
Not in my opinion. I think that beautifully shot in photographs, stills, is the way to go.
Yeah.
Enough to just get people interested. And I don't do virtual staging.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people do virtual staging. There's some nice technology out there for it. But I think that's I think that's
Do you do
misleading.
staging?
I
Like real staging? Like come in, have some sort of a designer, somebody go and
Well,
say, hey,
that's
move
an
the couch
interesting
over
thing. A lot
here,
of-
you need a new picture, that kind of thing.
So the answer is no.
Okay.
Because a lot of realtors use the term staging.
Yeah.
Different. To me, staging is what you talked about. Is that you physically have to hire someone to come in. You got to pay for that furniture. You got to pay for delivery.
Yeah.
There's a lot of costs associated with
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
So, and that's what virtual staging is trying to address. Is okay. Well, how do we accomplish the same?
So you take
for a
pictures of an
fraction
empty
the price?
house and you put in.
I take pictures of the house as it is and in as a good condition as it can be. Clean, bright, clutter-free. This
Yeah.
is the home you're buying.
Right.
I think it's misrepresentation to virtually stage.
Okay.
It's like trying to date someone and they're photoshopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not.
I got you.
I
That's
don't
funny.
want to waste anybody's time.
Yeah.
Here's my, and again, that gets back to how I do what I do. It's a market. I take a home. I call it the 3 Ps. Pictures. Got to have beautiful pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Write a compelling paragraph that describes why is this home special? Why is it worth your time? And price.
Yeah.
The 3 Ps. Price, pictures, paragraph, and price. Once I have done that, I put that online. No different than in concept in a car. Anything that you find online. And it's amazing the buyers, because they're all online buying, they know the value of a home. My ability to influence them as a broker is dramatically diminished from where it was pre-internet when I had all the inventory and they didn't. So,
Have you taken over homes that were for sale for however long with I'm going to say traditional broker?
Sure.
And wasn't selling, and then they reached out to you to see if you could do something different.
I get a lot of calls from realtors, from clients who have gone with another realtor. But at the same time too, in respect to my other realtors, they're all doing their job.
Yeah.
They're trying to take their best pictures they can. They put it out there. That's your problem. It's one of the 3 Ps. Either you have a crappy paragraph that doesn't describe it, your pictures are not good and don't highlight it, or your price is too high.
Yeah.
So yes, I do get other realtors.
I find prices are
What's that?
crazy high. That house prices are high.
Relative to what?
To what they are. I see some houses and I think they're asking too much. Do you get that a lot?
And they sit.
And they sit. Do you,
So
what kind of back and forth do you have with the owner of selling the house? You say, I want to sell it for 400,000. You say, well, no, it's not worth that. It's 350. Do they listen to you, or do you say, well,
some do, some don't.
Do you walk away from homes?
Absolutely. I don't need another sign. Look, I got to pay my photographer win or lose. So, and I'm fortunate to be in the position where even if I weren't, it doesn't make sense to pay for a house that's not going to sell.
Yeah.
So if someone calls me who's had their house with another realtor and the 3 Ps are not in alignment, let's say they have beautiful pictures and a lovely paragraph. What else can it be? It's price. And if you're not willing to adjust your price, then it doesn't, or based on what the data. I always do a comparative, it's called a CMA, a comparative market analysis, where essentially we take all the data in MLS of similar homes that have sold, and let's look at the data. And I'll sit down with the seller and say, look, here's what the data shows. You've had it for X with another realtor with great pictures and a great paragraph written. What am I going to do differently? I don't want to waste your time or my time and money. So yeah, I absolutely will. Yeah. If it's not a good fit, then I'm very clear with my customers up front is this is how I work. This is how I see the market.
What's an average length of time for a house to be on the market?
I don't know what the ASCO statistic is.
What about you?
In the market.
What about you?
I do 90-day contracts.
Okay.
And that's another thing I do differently. Most realtors are going to want 6 months to a year. My thought is,
wow,
I'm going to give you I want 90 days. And if we're not on the same page and we're not getting this thing sold or the activities there, it's probably not worth the time. So to answer your question, I sell most of the houses that I list by far.
Yeah. Here's a question. You sell a house, you charge 1%. What about the buying agent? How does that all fit in? What's that conversation?
So it's not mandated by state law. So it's entirely up to the seller. Well, here's how much I want to pay buying agent. So what I tell the seller is, okay, here are the ramifications. If you offer 0 to a buying broker, you will get pretty much zero showings from them. So your pool is greatly diminished. I don't know the exact statistics, but it's in the 90s. 90% of homes are sold by agents. That being said, there's a lot of for sale by owner websites out there. A lot of people are trying to crack this nut on how do you efficiently sell a home. So I tell my sellers, given that we're in a percentage model, I cannot change the model overnight. Part of me doesn't even think that the percentage model makes sense. Where am I an equity partner in your business as a realtor? When the plumber comes and fixes a furnace, does he get a percentage of the house? No. But me as a realtor, I am somehow an equity partner in your home. Doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that's the paradigm I'm in now. Right now, all I can do as a first step is change the 1% part of it.
What would be better?
Let me answer your question too first in terms of what do you pay a buying broker.
Yeah.
So what I say to the listers is, I can do 1% because of my cost structure, and the reality is it takes me about 15 hours in total to sell a home, right? So my average selling price is about $300,000. So I make $3,000 a home, takes me 15 hours. Was that $200 an hour? Pay my photographer. That's not bad money.
Sure.
It's a good living. Buying brokers, though, if you look at what we do when we have buyers, is we on average show 20 homes. That's our time. That's our gas. It's a lot of time. It's a much more labor-intensive activity. Buying agent is also there for the inspection. Buying agent is working with the bank, making sure that appraisal, the bank is able to fund the money and all that stuff. So given that we're in a percentage environment, 2.5% is what's been called by other realtors, the going rate, the traditional rate. It's a fair price if you do the math.
Yeah.
So I typically advise them to do 2.5%. They typically will follow that advice. So on average, my contracts on average, they're 3.5% contracts, because the money in Connecticut flows.
So that's half of what they would pay traditional.
Slightly less. If they paid 6%, it's about close to half.
Yeah.
In most I've looked at the numbers based on what's offered to a buying broker. It's about 90% are offering, 95% are offering either 2.5 or 3%. Yeah. So you wind up saving at least 1.5 up to 2.5%.
Yeah.
Which, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000.
Yeah.
And
it's money.
The 1%, it's funny to them. It's human nature to save money. Everybody wants to save money. So I help people who can afford it. But what's I find really rewarding, and then just being candid, is I work with people who are really on the edge. And that 1.5%, 2.5% difference is what separates them from getting out of their house, maybe with a couple bucks in their pocket, versus having the bank come and take it.
Yeah.
And it's so, I have gotten feedback from clients.
Awesome.
I've been like, thank you. You got me out of this thing. I couldn't get another agent to take me for less than 2.5%, 3% of their side, or 5 or 6%.
Yeah,
You can't.
Because the market, I mean, there's still, after that hit in '08, there's still a lot of people who are right on the edge. They're still either underwater or they're even or what have you, and they sell and they're not going to make their money back.
And you can't call the traditional agents and say, will you do me for less than 5% or 6%? They can't, because they have corporate. In general, they make exceptions here and there. They'll,
Sure.
I don't want to use discriminate, but they'll pick and choose who they want to give a break to. But the average Joe Schlub wants to sell their home. Clients have told me I got slapped with the 5% fee. Like it's an alternative for someone to save some money. And again, it's this process. It's not just for one person. I want to make it available to everybody, but that's a challenge for the future.
So, we did some videos, you did some photographs, we did a couple of different things. You ended up doing this very cool cartoon Robin Hood thing. Do you remember that? You remember that? Where'd that come? You still use that?
Yeah, that's the core of my.
That's awesome.
So and not everyone actually knows it's Robin Hood.
Okay, really?
I've heard Peter Pan. Most people get Robin Hood, but it's also I try.
It is Robin Hood, though.
It is Robin Hood.
Okay.
It is Robin Hood, and it's me as a character in Robin Hood.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. It's different, and we take from and give to.
Yeah.
So that really kind of encapsulated what I'd like to be about. Is I give back. We do our Realtors for Rescues, where every time we buy or sell a home, we give $100 to a shelter.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's just giving back. We have a 10% buyer rebate, which we don't really promote too much. So you kind of have to ask for it. You don't have to. You have to ask for it, but it's something we haven't promoted. But overall, that's how I see the brand is 1% listings. I don't know if it's 10%, 20%. That's a whole nother fun model to try and, again, we have no overhead.
Yeah.
Right? So on average, we're making 2.5%. An average selling price of $300,000, we make $7,500.
Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned, it's a lot more labor intensive, but there's still room there to give back to a buyer. So they need to buy that washing machine. We can share and give back. So That's what Robin Hood. That's where I'm at right now with that.
How long did it take you to get to where you currently are with your branding? I mean, I know you did a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of back and forth. Let's try this. This didn't work. You folded that up. What's that? Run us through
Dave,
that.
I have probably spent $150,000, $200,000 in the past 2.5 years.
Wow.
In terms of production and actual advertising. I have tried social media. I've tried SEO. I've tried print. I've tried Comcast.
How much of that budget is actually creating the brand? Not advertising it, not marketing it, but the actual creation.
Well, I'm kind of at now where I've just got my logo with the Robin Hood.
Yeah. And
that's pretty much it. So I'm happy.
And you think you're good. You're good now. You got what you wanted.
I'm good for now. I'm good for now. But the way I view listen, I'm in real estate. Yeah. Everyone buys. I'm not a niche.
Yeah.
Everyone buys and sells homes. Or not everyone, but the vast majority of people are.
Yeah.
So and I'm doing the same job that other people do for 60% less.
It's crazy.
It's a huge opportunity. Yeah. So in terms of.
Do you consider yourself discount?
In the terms of discount, I am less. I price less, but you don't receive less services. Look, if you want to look at my business model, compare it to Amazon. No different. They don't have the infrastructure, so they can send that saw, that chop saw that I can get at Home Depot, because they're not paying Home Depot's property, taxes, wages, and all that. I don't have the overhead. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Look at the travel industry, right? You don't need a travel agent anymore. You just go on Expedia and you book your travel. It's really, in many, many levels, very similar to that model in terms of an Amazon or, again, taking out all the cost structures.
Do you see, you mentioned that big firm out in California. Do you see more agencies possibly adopting your model?
If they're smart, they will. I wish I could patent it. But I can't.
Yeah.
But the problem is.
They'd have to redo how they do business completely.
Correct. You've got to know how to run a business on a lower margin.
Yeah.
You got to know how to leverage your advertising, your back end operations. It's just, and I come from software. So I come from startup mentality. So my mindset is on efficiency.
Yeah.
I've got an advanced degree in economics and marketing. It's all about efficiencies. So I find myself to be super fortunate to be at the position I am in my life, in the industry I am in my life, where I've got the money to invest. And my wife's a great partner. She's fantastic. She does a lot of the buying work, great ear to bounce ideas off. My next step in terms of growth, where I revisit in terms of marketing and communications and all that, is when I grow or add agents. Again, I'm enjoying each step of the way. We'll see where it goes as each step goes, is where it's meant to go. But I do see the model, and you and I had these discussions. Look at Bob's Furniture.
Yeah.
That he's just marketing express kitchens.
He's a great example.
They're quote discounters,
Yeah.
and I'm not comparing what is it less quality. It's not so
I have
much
no
about
experience
quality.
with them, so I have no idea. Yeah.
No, but you know, I mean, look, this is my opinion that the quality of Bob's is not the same as at Ethan Allen.
Sure.
And you pay that premium for Ethan Allen. In my line of work, I don't think you're getting better service from another realtor. It's more from a marketing perspective. I see what mass marketing could do.
Yeah.
In terms of like the Bob's, Express Kitchens. You know, the attorneys, they spend millions of dollars on personal injury attorneys. So you know Heyman. That guy has spent millions and millions.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know the top, so who do you call?
Yeah.
There still is there still is a process involved to selling a home. I don't have the agents to scale. I couldn't take 50 calls a day.
Sure.
So.
How many, you have your wife, who else?
My wife, Tracy Wagner, joined us from Ravis last year.
Okay.
I did a deal with her in East Hampton, fell in love with it, like, wow, 1%, this makes a lot of sense. And she's done great with it. And I have another guy named Chris Tuthill,
Okay.
who joined, he's a new agent.
Okay.
Eager to learn, he's also a licensed electrician. So
Wow.
he has some cash flow as he gets up to speed, but
Nice.
yeah, so that's all we have
And
now.
that's it. So how do they get paid? Do they take a percentage and then you take a cut? I was like, you split.
Yeah,
You split that.
And so we get a lot of leads, actually, now at the point where we're getting a lot of referrals and whatever. So when we give our agents a lead, it's 1%, and these guys are bringing their own leads. It's a much higher percentage.
Gotcha.
We give away a very, very to Chris and Tracy, large chunk, more than they would get at a traditional realtor.
Oh, good.
But again, we can do it
Yeah.
because we don't have overhead.
Yeah. And they work out of their homes, out of their
They
car,
work out
on
of
their
their home. So
laptop.
the cost to me to add an agent is my time.
You're not paying for their phone. You're not.
No,
They
don't
have
pay
all
for
that.
well, I give them business cards.
Yeah.
Give them
of course.
signs.
Yep.
Give them lock boxes.
They don't have an office phone. Yeah, you have a lockbox, so they get all that stuff, all the tools.
$100 one time it lasts 5 years, and amortize that. It's nothing. So the
Yeah.
cost to add an agent is very little. So listen, you go spread the word. You keep most of the money. As long as I get my a bit to cover my cost, my overhead, and my time, all good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start focusing on that. That is an initiative for mine, really, for the next couple of months, to kick off an agent, start trying to find some really good agents who understand the value of.
So you want more agents?
I'm ready to. I've got enough.
How big would you like to grow? Like how many?
Sky's the limit. I mean, I really take it by in terms of quality of life. I don't want to. I still have I don't want to work 24 hours a day. I used to travel all the time. It depends on having the right agent who's pretty autonomous, who gets the value, loves saving their customers money, realizes, I may not make as much money on one house, but I will make more because I will have sold 2 or 3 or 4. Remember, there's 23,000 licensed agents in the state of Connecticut, all doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's a ton of them.
It's amazing. You can't throw a, what's the expression? Everyone knows an agent.
Sure. Yeah. I know a few.
Yeah, you do too. But you're going to use me, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to save
you.
you money.
Yeah.
I've had clients tell me, it's like, particularly the 1%, they've said, God, my niece is an agent, but you're going to save me $6,000. If what you say is correct, you're going to save me $6,000. I'll buy my niece a present.
Yeah.
And I'll pocket $5,500.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
That's a lot of money.
little civil wars started, but ultimately people, in general.
So what's the, did you get, when you were first starting up, did you get the, that's never going to work, why are you going to do that? Or was it more of, can you talk about some of the pushback over the years?
Yeah.
From anybody?
My wife originally. 1%.
Wow, really?
Kathy, it took her a little bit. She's like, she was a little.
But you knew this was going to work. I mean, did you know this was going to work?
I knew it. It had to, Dave.
Yeah.
I do the same job
Yeah.
other people do for 60% less because I don't have the infrastructure.
And you ran the numbers, and you're like, yeah, I can totally live on that.
Totally live on that.
Yeah.
$150 an hour?
Yeah.
Who's gonna hire an old fart like me for $150 an hour to do what? With 2 rods in my back and a fake D.
Yeah, right.
No,
Okay.
I'm happy.
Cool.
And I have to tell you, I was in software for 20 years. And software was very rewarding. I liked it. But when you actually, there wasn't a lot of, hey, high five, software worked. Now when I work with people, it's very real.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough and experienced enough that I really know what I'm doing. So when I'm working with a client who's nervous because this is their life savings, it's a very, very emotional process to somebody. So to help somebody, truly help somebody, I can't fly a plane. I can't do surgery. A lot of things I can't do to help people. But
see, that's cool. You keep talking about you're helping people, helping them sell their home, but more than that, right? You're helping them. Yeah, you said they're in a tight spot. They need to save a few dollars. They come to you. You do the same job. You sell a house, and they're thankful not just for you selling the house, but they got not a couple hundreds, a few $1,000.
$1,000. And sometimes that makes the difference.
That's
but
gotta
again,
feel
it's
great.
quality service. Yeah. It's quality service. That's why I have not expanded because my name is on the door.
Yeah.
My name is on the logo.
Yeah,
it's got to be quality.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I've got pushback. There are people, and that's the ad you made, Dave. You made the ad to address the pushback, which is, I thought I have to pay 5%.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. There's no law, right?
There's no law. The law says it's.
How did that get? Then who determined that? Like that's what it is?
Realtors.
They just said this.
They just all kind of said, well, we can make a living at 5 or 6%, so let's do that.
And that's
what
been
they've charged.
for decades.
And for decades, yeah, for decades. And look, people have tried to crack this nut, and the internet has changed it.
Yeah.
So they know they're living. You look at their stocks. I mean, the traditional realtors are under pressure. It's become there's the costs like every other business. Internet is driving costs out of it, and they have to adjust because they can't continue to do business the same way.
You gotta face the music, right? Things are changing. My industry changed dramatically, And at first, but you do what you have to do
to adapt.
And
adapt or die.
I think my industry now is better than it ever was. It's fun. We have access to more tools. It's exciting. And what the best part is, people say, well, what about all these people with their cell phones and they're doing all these videos and they're doing all this? Doesn't that cut in? I said, yeah, sometimes. But what's better about that is that they're educated now, right? They know. So I get a lot now. It's like they know, oh, I did this video with the phone thing. It was good, but yeah, I got to do it and it needs to be a little bit better. So the education is there that, oh, that's why they demand that kind of money. That's why I'm paying X amount of dollars for this guy because I get it now. So it's the education part I think is huge. And I think that goes with real estate too. We sold our first home by owner, but that was easy because the market was in like 2004, right?
Okay.
So
Zillow wasn't even around then.
Yeah, it was a piece of cake, right? Put a sign up and we got a call the next day or something. It was nuts. But that wouldn't happen today. But we did a lot of work, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what they do, right? It's all that listing, it's all that. I mean, I don't have time to do that now.
We absolutely perform a service.
Yeah.
There's an expertise involved. There's having the forms, all access to that, access to lawyers, inspection. We definitely add value, and there's nothing I'm trying to do to deprecate the value of realtors. And I never, ever, in person, in print, I never say I'm a better realtor. Mm-hmm. I personally think, Kathy and anyone on my team, we are above average realtors.
Sure.
But my value proposition is never based on I'm better, right? Yeah. So it's really about the value because of the lack of the cost structures and the transparency that MLS via Zillow and Trulio provide. I mean, in your case, though, you're a skilled. Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of difference between Leave It to Beaver and what I just shot on my phone to get me out, right?
Sure. Sure. Yeah, but my point is that you'd think I guess everybody's on the internet. Well, doesn't that because they're finding their own houses now? Well, yeah, but they're educating themselves. So I think what happens is now. I'm trying to see where I'm going with this.
Let me give you an example. This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think this is where you're trying to go. I have private parties that call me and they'll say, "Hey, Kev, I want to sell my house to Jim."
Yep.
I don't want to necessarily put on it. So I say, I'll do it for 1%.
Yep.
I will just because I have the papers, I know the process. It's like, so, and that I'll do for 1% as a private party deal, just because there is the value to having the contracts and knowing the process and shepherding through. I don't know if that's sort of where
Do people come to you, okay, I guess maybe years ago you'd call up a real estate agent and say, hey, I want to buy a house in West Hartford. And then they would go and they pick out all the houses for you to look at. But now you can go on the internet, you can go on Zillow and you call up that agent and say, hey, there's a house on road A, B, C, and D I want to go look at. Is that how, is it?
Well,
Does that make it easier for you or harder for you?
Well, the core of what I do for 1%. What you said is, do they call a realtor? No, they didn't call a realtor. If they called a realtor, they'd say, yeah, come on down to my office. So the buyer, get in the car, drive to the office. The realtor would pull out a big stack of printouts of all the MLS. They put their MLSs, their listings on top. You know, Mary and Paul, you need to see these houses. Oh, great, let's go see them. Okay? Sellers who wanted to get to the top of the pile would go down to the listing agent and say, here's my listing, will you please push my listing? And I say, well, 6% gets you to the top of the pile. 5%, we'll put you here, or we'll do, whatever, man.
Sure.
That's how that worked. And they had to, because the brokers, there was no internet. The brokers were the fulcrum of information. And that's where the brands came from.
Sounds a little crooked.
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there for now. But anyways, that's where the brands came, because this brand had all the agents, so they had all the listings. But now we don't. There's a funny thing within the real estate industry. They call it my listings, our listings. The Association Realtor owns MLS. So I don't know technically ownership, are they their listings? Getting back to my Robinhood. As a consumer, that's my listing, my house. It's not your listing, realtor. And that's kind of a fundamental difference I have with the view of, there's a lot of realtors are not happy that Zillow's got access, the genie's out the bottle. Because technically they're Association Realtors listings. Can't put that genie back in the bottle. And that's how, if they took away Zillow and all that, my business model's kaput. We're going back to go see the realtor, we'll print them out, and here's what's out there. But again, what the internet does is transparency.
It's able for the buyer or the seller to drive the market now. They sort of make the calls.
I think Dave, no. I think what it's done is it's created a market. We've simply created a market where buyers and sellers can put their home on or look for a home to buy, and they can see the same house for $300, same house around the house market for $250, and they know that in real time. All we're doing is creating a market, which is efficient. It's creating, again, that's what the internet does, is create efficiencies. I can deliver, because I have a low infrastructure, I can deliver the same service for less.
Yeah.
Is it 1%, Dave? Is it 1.5%? Is it 2%? Is it 0.75? I don't know. 1% was just catchy and saved somebody a lot of money.
Yeah.
Let's go with it. Who knows where this thing's going to go? I just did a client called me about a home that auctions.com listed through MLS.
Auctions.com.
Yeah, auctions.com. The buyer has to do all the paperwork and all the work. What do they need me for?
Yeah.
But now you got an uneducated buyer filling out online contracts. But the point is, they're trying to. And the point I was getting with that was the buyer pays the seller's commission, not the commission.
Oh, okay.
Why is nothing's in stone? Why is it the seller pays the commission?
Yeah.
Just been done for the last 50 years. Nothing is. The core of it is there's no mandates as to how this business should be done from a pricing model. We've got to be ethical and honest and fiduciary responsibility.
So there's nothing that says, okay, if you sell the house, you have to pay this, or if you buy the house, you have to pay this. There's no documentation.
Nothing
it's
mandated.
Nothing mandated. That's crazy.
All whatever.
What other industry does that?
Hopefully everyone, Dave.
Yeah,
That's capitalism.
Yeah.
That's capitalism, being able to put a product, advertise a product. Dave, imagine your world. But
Sure.
see, you don't do necessarily what is commoditized, or the process is commoditized. Mm-hmm. I can tell my sellers what my process is. This is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to take beautiful photographs. I'm going to write a compelling paragraph. I'm going to put you on MLS at what we think is a competitive market price. We will adjust that price accordingly. After that, I'm going to do open houses. That's my package.
Yeah.
It's 1%. You don't really do that, but I think that's a great idea that you're going towards in terms of.
Well, I do that, kind
Oh
of.
yeah, that's right. You told me.
I do that, kind of.
And it worked for you.
It works for me. I have a package.
So imagine if all. No,
Yeah.
go ahead. No,
So I have the package, and they call me up, and for this amount of money, we're going to go to wherever you want me to go. We shoot, whether it be interviews and all the video we need for that. We take all that back. We make your video, edit it, with music and graphics and your logo and branding, and you get that. And this is how much it's going to cost you. There's no hidden. There's no
How much
loopholes.
does it cost you?
$1,500.
Boom.
Done.
Turnkey, $1,500.
$1,500. But again,
Now
$1,500 you get this video.
Now imagine in your line of work, if everyone who does what you do, and their parents and their grandparents did what you did, which is $1,500. Here's the package.
Yeah.
Imagine you start doing $1,000 packages.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing. And really, I mean, you deliver a package, you can go to a business owner and say, here's $1,500 and here's what you're going to get, and you can advertise that.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's easy. You know why I did it? I would stand up. I'd get into. I go to the meetings and networking and things, and I stand in video production. And everybody says video production. I can't afford that. There's a lot of big lights and cameras and things, and it's time consuming, and I'm scared in front of all these things, right? I said, what everybody else is getting, and they're selling something, right? This is to the point, right? Everybody's selling a thing. I'm selling. I'm not really. There's nothing tangible there. So I'm going to sell a package video. Complete 180. It's crazy.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
People are scared
It's
of the unknown.
it's tangible
People don't want to
now.
make decisions. And I could do this. I could speak to you as a business owner who has hired you. Having that is super compelling. It's a fixed cost, which I say, okay, and here's what I'm going to pay, and here's what I'm going to get.
Yeah. That's the idea. Takes out the guesswork.
Takes out the guesswork.
And here, this is an example of what you're going to get. I love that. Let's do it. Okay, good. Done. We do it, and it's done. Fast, quick turnaround because we know exactly what we're working with.
And you can tailor your packages and services delivered based on a small business owner, medium business owner.
Exactly.
Or maybe someone wants to hire you out as a, as a marketing agency. They want to hire you out just for the videography.
Sure.
But having a discrete
do that.
package. Imagine if I just did my 1% listings and said, oh yeah, I sell it for less. Call me and we'll negotiate.
That's still what? What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. No one's going to call me.
No.
What we do, 1%.
This is it.
And I put on my ad. Here's what I'm very transparent, very upfront.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not going to win every one.
No, of course
It's okay.
not.
We're
It's
human.
fine. You're not here to. You could. There's no way. No matter what kind of ad you put out there, you're not going to win everybody.
My thing is I'm growing. We're up. We did this year in 2019. We sold 90 homes, close to 23 million, in our second year of business.
Wow.
90 homes, 23 million.
Holy
Last
cow.
year we did, I think it was 40 in 2018.
You sold 90 homes?
Yeah.
Your little agency?
Yeah, just
It's
4 of us.
huge.
Yeah, we did great.
That's massive. I
And
mean, I don't know. I'm not.
We're up 225% from 2018, our first full year,
That's
focusing
awesome.
on it.
Congrats on that. That's cool. That's huge.
My thing is I just want to deliver quality service, but I still want a quality of life.
You have fun doing it?
I love it.
Yeah. I think that's.
And
that
then when
matters.
it's not fun,
You'll
I will
some-
do things
you'll
differently or do something else.
Yeah.
Life is short.
absolutely. Yeah. I'm still having fun.
yeah, you should.
So it's good.
Very few people can make a living doing what you do, which is solving business problems creatively with visuals.
Yeah.
I loved working with you. I loved your team
Thank
that
you.
you
I appreciate
had.
that. Yeah.
I wish I could do more of that,
Yeah.
and I may.
Yeah.
Let's see where
We'll talk about it.
see where this takes me.
I'm always here. I'm not going anywhere.
Cool.
Yeah. Unless things change, but I don't think so.
Enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Do your best.
It's good. So what else we got going on? Anything new and exciting? I think we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon, but
Yeah,
I think we got.
good conversation. man.
Yeah. No, it's very cool.
good
This is a cool format.
I hope it works well for you, and
I think so.
certainly I will tell you anyone
Yeah.
listening who's interested in hiring you. You find my
I
contact. You
appreciate
can
that.
Google me, and I'm happy to give you the straight and narrow on them.
No, I
Good
appreciate
work.
that.
Good
still,
price.
yeah, it's, I mean, it's really, because I deal so much with brands, because that's the reason I do video. I mean, the people, they do video, right? They want to tell their story. Part of their story is their brand. I mean, brand is more than just your logo, I feel, right? That's what this podcast is about anyway.
Right.
It's about, that's for now, and here we're talking about brand. So
Yeah.
I think a brand is more than a logo. A brand is the service you deliver, the personality, of who you are, the straightforwardness, And I think that just all evolves. There was one guy, he said, when I get dressed in the morning, I think about my brand because that's people going to see me and they're. So here's the question I always ask people. So is your brand you, right? Is it you or is it Rockoff Realty? Like, what are you kind of selling? Are you selling both? When you sell yourself, is it convoluted question? But you know where I'm going.
I do, and I saw the other interview. I'm going to say it's a work in progress.
Okay, fair enough.
I think when people think of me,
yeah, or
they in relation to real estate, I want them to think the 1%, do things differently, quality service, good people. We got terrific reviews online, which are huge, but quality, fair pricing, transparent quality. Ultimately, it's quality.
Yeah.
In terms of the tactics, the Realtors for Rescue is more just a way of saying giving back and quality. Buyer rebates, 1% listings. So it's quality, fair pricing.
So when people see Rockoff Realty or recommend Rockoff Realty, do you want to say, hey, go see Kevin at Rockoff Realty, or do you want them to say, check out Rockoff Realty, great service, excellent price?
More the latter.
More the latter.
And they can call me, and there's no one on my team, there's no one I work with.
Cool.
Again, one of the nice things
Awesome.
I'm at my stage of life, I can choose who I want to work with me.
Yeah.
Or I want to work with.
Yeah.
So to answer your question,
yeah,
just know my brand, visit the website,
yeah,
call me. Typically people call me, but I get a lot of calls, and it's good to give my agents leads.
Yeah.
I like that because I make money, they make money, they're busy.
Well, you're knowledgeable, you're easy to talk to. Obviously, we've heard here that you know your business and the history of the business and how to sell a home. I mean, it's proven how to sell a home. You've sold 90 homes in a year for just
2 years, 90 homes.
2 years.
Oh, no, we sold 90 homes, but okay, so 90 in 2019 was both buys and sells.
Buys and sells.
The 40 in 2018 was both buys and sells. I have sold, of the 90 plus 40, I have sold 78 of those have been 1% sales.
Yeah.
78 homes at 1%.
And people are ecstatic.
I've not had a single bad review.
That's awesome.
It's just
Congrats, man.
all
That's very, very cool.
super positive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Watching it grow like that. Yeah.
Fun to see where it grows.
Yeah, absolutely. Any closing remarks? Anything you want to shout out to anybody or anything like that? I think this was awesome.
I always enjoy talking to you.
Cool.
Dave.
Kevin, thanks very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate you coming.